Oh, good evening. Gonna have a few updates. And I was kind of hoping there'd be a couple of people from these other Bigfoot sites on here who claim there's no experts, and most of that has to do with they themselves are not experts or know anybody who's an expert. I was given a whole list of people's, being an expert as far as what people would think an expert would be. PhDs, their own business, things that you would see as authoritative or as you would see an expert to be with the 5 million hours of research and the 20 lifetimes of research and things like that. But if they are experts, how come you do not know anything? There should be books, there should be movies, there should be, it should be common knowledge. If there were any experts that these people are trying to tell me are experts. No, they're not experts. They've written books. They've got YouTube. And I don't care how high your degree is. You do not get the same information as, say, the Vatican. You don't get the same information as international advisors. You don't get the same information as the people who read hieroglyphs. And then some people also said, why am I on a small Bigfoot group page whenever I have all the knowledge? But I just like to answer questions, but when I do, people don't take my answers as fact until they realize it is, and that's much later because they don't do the research. I did have one guy who questioned everything I said, which was good. And he too called me not an expert. I've also written books, which if you read those books, you'll learn everything that you need to know about this world and the next. But the one guy who really questioned me, which I didn't mind. I mean, it was a waste of time for me, but, I took the time out to set him straight and give him information that no other people had. I told him where to get the books, how to get them, and I even told him how to get them for free. He did go to that place. He did ask. Of course, I was telling the truth. The books were there. But the people wanted to have him ask me for permission to give him the books for free. And there was the problem because he did not want to ask me for permission. Which, with all the words that he had said, all the things that he had insinuated as far as my knowledge, I proved him wrong, just like I proved everybody else wrong. If you want to know about the Bigfoot, I have that information. Now we're going on the trip, but it's for a ceremony for the water for the Kamishi River. But we're also going to be filming. And I've decided that while we're filming, we might as well make a video or a tape that gives all this information So whenever you see all these other Bigfoot pages or group pages, videos, anything you can think of that deals with the Bigfoot, you'll find out that if you look at the video that we're going to put out, you'll see that everything that you know is wrong. You won't guess anymore. You won't have opinions, suggestions, or things like that, which to a person who knows the true history, the origins, the beginnings, the formation of a Bigfoot and other predators. But when people insinuate or guess, to a person who knows. Now, to another person who doesn't know, if you guess, you can guess all day. You can share your opinions, ask each other questions, go around those answers because you don't have them. But when you talk to a person who does know, and I don't mean just about the Bigfoot, I mean knows about the world, the earth, knows about the cosmic animals, how everything started, how everything fell into place, and how everything had been changed. A person who knows how the Great Flood started, where the water came from, why we're in certain situations right now, to the formation of predator creatures. Now, before the beginning of time, there was not one predator here in Earth, not in this dream world. So, I'm going to give all that information out. Doesn't do me any good. I already know. I already know my path. And you're also going to find a different path, or you're going to realize you're on a path that can't be changed. There is a difference between Indian people and other people. You'll find that out. There's a lot to the knowledge, not just to the history, but to us. But to share all that knowledge, we either have to converse face to face, because it does take time, or even a phone call, but still that takes time. So we decided to put this into a video. We're going to put this into a video with all the information. This is a lot of information a lot of people's not going to like. It's all factual, historical. You can find it anywhere. Just look in the maps. Like some of these maps, you may think of some of these maps to be complicated, I guess you would say. But if you know how to read the maps, they're not complicated. You see them, you see the inscriptions, if you know the story. And the story that I'm going to tell in the beginning is enough for people around the world to be able to start reading hieroglyphs just by the story that I'm going to tell you when we get to camp. And I'm going to be telling different stories, but all these different stories have factual proof to them. And if you listen, you will learn everything. But to listen, you have to listen. You have to be attentive. You have to listen to what I say. There's a difference between hearing and listening. You can hear me, but if you're thinking of something else or how this pertains to you or this reminds me of that time or this person, then you haven't heard a word I said. And you'll miss everything. And you'll also interfere with other people who are wanting to learn. So that's the plan. We're getting together for this weekend. It is for a ceremony, but it is also in Bigfoot territory. Now, there are people who say that we're going into their areas and their lands and everything, but no, this all belongs to us. They've been intruding for millions of years. And this is how far the stories go back. I've heard some people say that Bigfoot's only been here for like 500 years, 1,000 years. No. Millions of years. Millions of years we've had this problem. Millions of years we've had predators. But it wasn't always like that. So, on this camping trip, you're going to learn everything that a lot of people need to know. All the experts, all the Bigfoot experts. You're going to start seeing everything that we say, they're going to start using. Now, of course, they're going to start saying that, it's theirs or they found it or, whatever. But today is August the, I think 11th. So if you don't have all the information about a Bigfoot right now on August the 11th, 2021, way past the time that you need to have already learned all of this. If you don't have that information, if you are not an expert yourself right now, that means that nobody's an expert except me. We could challenge anybody. But the only people I would know who would know are not the people here. The people I know who would know, but I haven't talked to them. I don't talk to these people. But they would be considered either the Vatican, the Queen, the King, Iran, China, Africa. Only these heads of state or heads of the families will know what I'm talking about or has this information right now. Normal people, no, you don't get this information. You were never allowed to have this information, and you were never allowed to know this information. That's why you don't know right now. That's why people guess. That's why people always say there's not an expert, but there are. I'm one of them. That's why everybody tries to, you know that you don't know, so why do you say that someone else doesn't know? You don't know. Go get your big brother. Go get your, how you've always been raised and trained. I'm not here to pick a fight or I'm not here to go over you. But I'm already at a level that 99.9% of the world is not. I do mingle with people. I do go around people. I do listen to what they're talking about. I do watch their Facebook pages. I do, check messages and things. But I don't see any of the knowledge being shared. Not unless it's from my page. So we need everyone to be knowledgeable. We need everybody to have the ancient knowledges. I've learned how to heal people. I can heal anybody. And yet, there's only a few who have taken everything that was said to heart and used my system, and now they're in perfect health again. Or they've got rid of a disease and are getting their health back. It is something for me to know all these things. And at this point, especially now, because I only have, 30-something subscribers or something. And I'm only going to be using this channel to share this information. It's called the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch at gmail.com or under Jerry Williams. I also have the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch in parentheses, antlers and surrounding areas group page on Facebook. I also have the Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMBMAN, Woman, and Son Center and Database. We do track. I am a tracker, a Choctaw tracker. I have a tracking camp. In the opening, you'll see a picture of the next camp that we're going to have. And that's where I teach everything in tracking, but not just tracking, because like I tell everybody, tracking is easy. Anybody can track. And you just got to know what to look for. But whenever I teach the course, it is a rigorous course. I do test your body. I want it exhausted for the final test. But I also teach you how to listen to the wind, because the wind has language. Listen to the birds, because a bird does have language. To the insects, to shadows. I'll teach you how to see things that are translucent. I'll teach you how to protect your mind. You do need to know all these skills to be a tracker. And I do know a couple of other trackers who are, to me, they're careless. I've seen some of them go out and do a couple things, and I know I wouldn't go with them. Now, they could come with me, but they would have to listen to the instructions, to the protocols, because I do know certain situations and certain scenarios that may happen. And if they happen, you have to be prepared for them. For one, you have to be able to shut everything off so that your mind is protected. Now, all these, that's what people would call mythical beings and creatures. We are the same, just like that. We can generate energy. We can generate light. We can generate auras. We can, we can cloak, as you would say. But you just have forgotten. And that's something we teach. You can travel in your dreams. You can travel, what people would call a trance, but it's not a trance. It's just focus and intent. A lot of people still question a lot of things. And I'm not going to get into a lot of things here because a lot of people would only question, because that's what people do. They only question. They have no answers. But we are going to have a small group this weekend. I'm going to give all the group all the information, so that when they go home, there's going to be whoever the amount that we have will all be experts when they come back. The people who don't go won't have a clue. And you'll still be out there guessing, making suggestions, or having opinions to something you have no clue of. And like I was saying before, when you talk to a person who's an expert as I am, and you give a suggestion, opinion, or a question, or you guess in front of us, you're a waste of time. I'm only saying that you're a waste of time because you won't take the time to come and listen, to come and learn. You'll always have an excuse not to be there. Your excuse will be, it's too hot, it's too far, not enough money, time's not right. You know, I've heard them all. And that is the normal. And we've already found everything. We've already went into the temples, into the pyramids. We've already read the hieroglyphs. We've read the manuscripts. We read the ancient books. We found everything. There are a couple of us who do know all this, but I also have had friends and people who has came to camp or has trained a little bit, but none of them has finished their training. So they only have bits and pieces and a little bit of knowledge, even though they have more knowledge than 99% of the people. They still lack all the purity of it, the spirituality of it, the history of it, the knowledge of it. So we're going on a trip this weekend. And I'm going to be sharing everything with the group. And I don't want to say everything that I know because I know everything. I'm going to be sharing everything with them. Up to the part of the beginning, when time began, while we had night, where the great flood came from, where the first predators come from, how to read hieroglyphs, and how to track. Just that alone. And that's just a bottom of the iceberg. To get you to the top, to the Helios, to the rate of what they would call higher intelligence. I'm going to teach from the bottom up so that we can get you there. We're going to put this on a film or a disc so that you have this information. So you'll quit running around asking questions. You'll quit calling people who are experts not experts, which I'm probably the only one I know of. But we're doing this for you. I'm getting tired of people saying I'm not an expert. I'm getting tired of people questioning with the same questions. Everyone has the same questions. There's no new responses. It's all the same questions every time, just from different people. That's why I quit basically explaining to people, because once you explain to one, you explain to another. And I've been doing it and I'm tired of it. So when you want to know the truth, stay with this channel. We're going to be making a video about this, giving the information out. If you don't watch the video, you're going to stay right where you are. You're not going to move forward. You're only going to know what you know, which is nothing. But the people who do and are at these camps or at this camp, when they return, they're going to have all the information up to the point of the Bigfoot. If they like, we'll get into the spirituality. We'll get into, but we are going to cover protection too. which our bodies are that way. And like I said, we still have our senses. We've just forgotten how to use them. But I'm going to reiterate those. I'm going to remind everyone how to use your senses. So whether we go with a big group or a small group, it doesn't matter. Everyone's going to have all their senses. They're going to have everything they need to go out, be successful, and return home to everybody. But I'm going to close in for now. I do have only about 5 minutes left on this power that I have. Usually I run about 30 minutes just to update, sometimes a little bit longer. It depends on if we have other people or we're going to start having guests. Well, people wanted to be guests, but they would just ask the same questions. Everybody asks the same questions. Every Bigfoot page asks the same questions. Every commenter on the Bigfoot pages will ask the same questions over and over and over and over. And if you get a new person, it starts all over again. So we decided that this video will be the best thing for you. And once we get it completed, we will give it out. Of course, we're going to keep this live stream. This is the only live stream channel that I'm going to be using. It's the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch channel. It should be updated with expert, Bigfoot expert. So if you want to know, either go camping with us, watch this stream channel, or get the DVD when we completed it. And then I won't have to go anywhere ever again. If you read that, if you watch that, I won't ever have to do a presentation, take anyone camping, explain anything, and show people things ever again, because you already have everything that you need. Then you can do what you want with it. Go catch Bigfoots, go kill Bigfoots. Know where they're at.